Hello and welcome to the best mods for Xbox PC, where we will be looking at some of the best mods to check out each and every single day, or at least that's the aim. There'll be something here for everyone, definitely worth checking out. Use the chapters where you need them. If you do get anything out of this, consider liking, subscribing. It goes a really long way. Appreciate your time. Let's get into it.
Not too long ago, we were talking about the possibilities of procedurally generating points of interest. So not just the terrain, but we have one of the most interesting mods we've covered in a little while. And this one is by Chaos Nerve and it's called Dark Universe Takeover. And get this, it adds over 50 new procedurally generated spacer military bases. And this crazy magic mod basically works with a variety of different objects that exist within the game and then mix and matches them into 50 unique shapes and forms, different looking military spacer bases. So each one of these will look unique. They'll share some similarities for sure, but you're still going to have 50 new points of interest. Now, these points of interest will be heavily guarded. You'll be able to get loot. And after you download this mod, you'll be able to find these points of interest in the wild, but you'll have to go to universes or planets you haven't been to for them to generate. However, by far the easiest way to find these is going to be using your mission board. But just to give you a quick example of what you can expect, here is one military base, and then here is another one. So you can see a lot of resemblance, but still structured very differently. And the fact that Chaos Nerve has written a program that is called Startiller, which takes these parts, these assets within Starfield, combines them together, and then outputs it in a format Starfield understands, is absolutely bonkers. Yes, these points of interest are exactly like the vanilla ones in the sense that they use all the same assets, but they're going to dynamically change between the 50 different unique 50 generated points of interest. So it's adding a lot of variety to a common point of interest. So imagine how this will expand in the future, where every point of interest could have variations of untold numbers. It's truly mind-blowing. We really have to put our hats down to Chaos Nerve for figuring out this masterpiece of coding or logic or however it works, because the concept is exactly what we're waiting for. One of the things that is commented on most by people that don't play Starfield is how it feels empty and all the points of interest feel the same or there's not enough of them. Well, this is truly one of the first cracks at being able to really make a refreshing experience on many different of the same points of interest. So it's going to be awesome to watch where this goes, but we'll just get into how to find this and what's the best way to go about finding these points of interest. And probably the easiest way to find these locations is to build a mission board at your outpost. You want to open that up and look for any mission that has a target location equal to one of the listed locations on the mod. Now keep in mind, you will probably either need to sleep for 48 hours or reset your mission board. One way you can do that is just by accepting all these missions, particularly if they're missions in space. Then we can go into our missions and then just reject them. You probably would want to just do that for all the listed message boards when you first jump in if you want to find these locations. So I'm just going to do it for these two as well. So for me, I've already reset my mission board. So I accepted all the missions, rejected them all, and rebuilt my outpost or rebuilt my mission board, and some more missions were available. And here we have another one. Kill the spaces. So we're going to take this and we're going to go check out another one of these procedurally generated baser military base points of interest. This is probably going to be the fastest way. However, do note that these are all going to be injected into your points of interest for planets and systems you haven't visited. Those will be your best options for coming across them randomly. They probably won't necessarily appear for those planets you've already been to and landed on. The cool thing with the mission board message is that the new points of interest will appear on your map, making it much easier to find. However, exploring is going to be another great option. And here we go. We have another fantastic procedurally generated. Now you can start to see how this is sort of working. So it is procedurally generating, putting random bits and different things within these spaces. So there's going to be sort of 50 variations of similar things to this. But you have to understand that this is just the start, and it's extremely impressive to see something so complicated be dissolved into 50 locations so soon. It's truly amazing, and I can't recommend this mod enough. I'm really looking forward to following this and see where this all develops. But now you have a mod where you can get 50 new spacer points of interest, something new to make it a little bit more refreshing. And I think we'll be able to solve the problem of the desolation of Starfield and points of interest not being varied and interesting enough sooner than we might think. Really positive and happy to see this. Let's keep moving. We have another terrific addition to your builder. This one is Starizon Ship Furniture. This is by Mr. Trilby. The good thing about all the various Star Horizon decor mods is that they have their own categories because they're using the community categories mod. Now these are sort of, for the most part, mostly for your ship, but you can build them on your outpost, and it was just going to be easier to show you inside a hub. But the cool thing is it just gives you so many options. And what's rather remarkable is that this mod adds a further 162 items, and there is so many little interesting little bits and pieces. So like a little Starborn tech interface, so like a little screen. And then where things really get crazy is we have the furniture section, which just adds so many furniture pieces. We have bed, benches, ship benches, and an assortment of colors, all the various lockers you've seen, the bunk storage. It's nearly almost like every single aspect of the ship detailing has been combined in this amazing mod. Now you have so many different things to muck around with, and the best thing is it's all in its own separate menus. Check out these cool ship couches. Now that is awesome. Quite a few of these I haven't seen in any other mods, so this is really quite a fresh addition to your builder, and the list goes on. So there's so many things to try out here. There's also quite a lot of Starborn furniture, which is a nice touch. Now you have to keep an eye on Starizon's furniture mods because there's more updates coming, and there's already 2 other decor mods a part of Starizon. So this is going to be one incredible combined effort or pack of mods when you get them all together. And just another reminder that you will need the community categories mod if you want them in its own little separate category and make it all nice. I'm pretty sure it is a dependent mod, so you will need that regardless. But another addition to your decor that offers a huge range. Fantastic mod for you builders. Whether you're on your ship or outpost, this is a fantastic option to choose from. Let's keep moving. This next mod is a tiny little change, but I find it really helpful, particularly if you're new or ever unsure of the ammo that your gun's currently using. Well, now you can have it displayed in long or short form on the bottom right of your screen under your weapon. This is called the ammo HUD, long names or short names, and this is by Professor X1527. And just for reference, here is a quick sort of breakdown of the long name, short name that you'll be able to see on your HUD. I particularly like this due to when you're starting the game or when you're new and you always be getting all the various ammo and different types that are out there. It can be a little annoying to try go to your menu and navigate to find out which ones you need. Having it displayed on your HUD is really going to speed up that process of just being able to loot and know what ammo you need or want, particularly when it comes to purchasing it from merchants. So by default, I think it is set to 60 FPS, so it should be good for most setups. A small UI change, but I think it's fantastic. Wanted to include that. A nice little HUD change just to make it easier to see your ammo. Fantastic mod. Let's keep moving. We're going to take a quick look at some uniform replaces for all the UC officers. This mod is called the UC Uniform United Colonies Faction Uniform Overhaul by Loki-san, and you get all the officers and UC uniforms, and it changes the UC uniforms into something that looks a little bit more sci-fi from things we've seen. This is influenced by a show called The Expanse. You may see some similarities here, but just a nice little change. If this is something you're into, could be nice to get a little bit of a mix up on your UC NPC's uniform. Probably the most important one to show you is the legendary John, your officer, your commanding officer. So he's got a new uniform and it's looking pretty nice. Something a bit different. Always good to mix it up. Let's keep moving. We got a cool mod here. This one's called the Faction Backgrounds, Faction Outpost Guards, and Faction Ship. It's a pretty descriptive mod title. This mod is going to add 5 new backgrounds. We got the UC Marine, the Vervoon Zealot, the Spacer, Ecliptic Mercenary. We got the First Mercenaries, which is your 3-star mercenary. These backgrounds aren't just for show. They do have quite a substantial impact with this mod. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to go with the Elliptic Mercenary. I do note you'll only be able to select these traits if you have another mod that allows you to bring up the background menu or when you start a new game. A few different options to change yourself at any time. Quite a few options. So one off the top of my head is a new you by Spock Rates. And then there's another one called the Charge End Menu Anytime by LBGSHI, but we're going to go with the Ecliptic Mercenary. Now, selecting this background, you will get loaded up with all your Ecliptic basic necessities, your drum beat, your power pack, and some of the armor, which is currently bugged for me, but that has nothing to do with this mod. Now, where things get interesting with this mod is that we can go and hire Ecliptic Mercenaries. Now, I can't show you the Ecliptic, but here's an example with the UC Vanguard. You'll be able to create recruits. Now, these guys are going to walk around your base and really fill it up, make it feel a lot more alive, and you will be limited to how many you can build, but you can build quite a few of them. Now, unfortunately, all the guys you recruit will not have weapons, but you can use other mods to give them inventory items. For example, your SKK followers mod, you'll be able to give them weapons that way. Which brings us to the coolest aspect of this mod. If we head to New Homestead, once we're over level 70, we'll find New Homestead in the Sol system on Titan. You talk to the technician there and go, let me see your ships for sale. We will now have access to some of the awesome Class M legendary ships that you find in the game. So they've been modified to allow us to purchase them and actually fly them with no issues. So this is probably one of the coolest ways I've seen in obtaining these without having to spend hours mucking around yourself. So this is a huge help. So we're going to purchase these and they will be quite expensive. So just be prepared. You're going to have to fork out some credits. So how cool is this? So this is pretty freaking awesome. So let's just give this a quick test. Make sure it's all working. Don't try edit these. Otherwise you will get errors unless you have a lot of mods to get around them. So now just a quick tip. You may have some issues trying to get these all working nicely and being able to actually jump into this ship because it is so huge and it doesn't look like the landing gear is on this. So they're not completely perfect. I would have put landing gear on them so they sit upright. If you have the right combinations of mods or you have the commands, you can easily sort this out. But ideally, this ship should have landing gear. So if you have SKK's ship mod, you'll be able to teleport straight to the pilot seat. So this will be no worries to get it off the ground. So there are a few ways around this, but it'd just be a little bit more mucking around. The other really simple solution is just to quick travel to the space, and that will sort of sort out your problems as well. And then you'll be able to fly the huge legendary Class M ships. So pretty awesome having access to these Class M ships. Now just to see what it looks like when we get out of the pilot seat. So when you jump out of the pilot seat, you will not be able to get out, just so you know. So these will probably all be the same. You will have to use a bit of modded witchcraft to get these working, but otherwise, once you're in the ship, you're good to go. And you can do that quite easily, but just flying into orbit and you're good to go. It is a nice little mod, and I do like that you get the legendary ships so easy and accessible. These will be a lot of fun for you to muck around. The last thing I'll say is that you may want to consider getting some of the mods that change your view of your ship to compensate for the huge Class M ship. Cool little mod, and this one is done by I Don't Like Nexus. Let's keep moving. For the next mod, we are heading to Ptolemy, then to Ptolemy 2, and we're landing at the forward base or the vault. And this is a pretty interesting location to have a little base of your own. Now, upon landing, you want to head over to the left here and check out some of these buildings just here. For one, if we head into this shipping container where you can open the door, close the door, there is this elevator here, and we can activate the elevator, head in here, and then head down to a vault, a secret vault. And this mod is called The Vault, and this is done by Specific. And upon entering, we have some nice security here, some cameras, and we can go ahead and activate it. But you will need the key card, which is just located here. So nice, scary little dead body on entering, just what you want. And we're going to throw that into this. And with that, we can get access to the vault. Got 2 doors to enter, so this is pretty primo security. Now this is a pretty pimp lord little location to store all your most prized possessions. So heading in, if you go down to your right, you'll notice that you'll have just a little like vent area with some power coming through, but you have a nice little storage area. So plenty of storage here. All these are display cases to store weapons, armor, you name it, you can put it down here. And heading back to the center, we have this really nice display area where we can put the artillery and all the bits and pieces we find. So this is pretty cool. It looks fantastic. Now the lighting is intentionally very low in this area just so we can get the nice effect of all the little twinkle and stars and all the goodness. And heading back into the main room, if we go down to the left here, we do have another sort of computer room and some more storage. And then if we zoom all the way out, just to give you an idea of how it all looks together, and zooming out, you can see it's not the biggest area, but it's plenty of what we need just to store some good old stuff. It's a cool little setup. And I particularly like the room where we can store the artillery. It looks fantastic. Not to mention the 007 kind of feel of getting into this secret base using the elevator in a shipping container. Nice little touch there. Quite an awesome little interesting location. Fantastic mod. Let's keep moving. The next mod is called Nova Galactic Rev8 Display Model. Now the cool thing about this mod is its intention is to give you the ability to build a replica model of the Rev8 in order so you could possibly throw this on your ship to simulate a vehicle bay or at your outpost. A simple little mod, but nice for those who want to have a crack at making their own sort of custom decorated vehicle bay. Model looks great and it's working perfectly. It's a nice little mod, and this one is done by Stovey. One quick note, I'm not sure which mod it is that is a part of this video, but it is made one of the robots giant. So just beware, that could happen to you. If you find this a persistent issue, just get the mod that lets you change sizes. The NPC Enhance mod or something, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, you'll get some strange stuff happening. We've got a super handy mod. This one is called Dekzon Landing Bay Hope 4. And it adds a new landing bay, pretty much a complete replica of the Hope landing bay, which as you'll note has a vertical ladder entry only. Well, this fantastic little addition just allows us to add the Hope 4 landing bay with a door facing forward, or if we flip it, you can see that the door will be to the right. And then if we flip it again, we can see it adds a door to the left. So basically it's allowing us all access points. This could be particularly potent for certain builds where you just want one level or trying to make a more compact build. But this is just a nice little addition. This one is done by Dex, giving you complete draw and optionality when attaching your Hope Bay, giving access points to all angles. Nice little mod. We'll keep moving. Heading to New Atlantis, the lodge, out on the patio, and we will find a chest. Now we have some crazy weapons to try out here, and this mod is called CBX Ludicrous Mine Launchers, and this is done by CD CBX Mods. And starting off, we have the CBX Silly Magshia. So quick note, on my first try, the weapons are not working. I'm just going to save and reload in. Saving and loading in appears to fix the issue. Now, the Magshia fires toxic rounds, or toxic mines, I should say. So it fires a ton of them pretty damn fast. So do note you may have some performance issues with a few of these different weapons. But the idea here is that it's going to drop a ton of mines very, very quickly. And your enemies will have to walk on them to trigger them. But if it does trigger one, it will trigger all in close proximity. So including you, they could all explode right in front of your face. So it's a pretty interesting and fantastic weapon, but it is a bit hard to see the rounds. But I'll just show you what it looks like in a bit of a slow motion. So these are the rounds. It's firing these little green gooby balls, and you fire them around and they can explode all or everywhere. Kind of an interesting weapon. So we're going to switch over to the minigun. And this one is, we'll switch over to the minigun, and it fires incendiary rounds, and you can see they are all red. So let's just fire a ton of these down at the ground for these guys to hit. Oh man, talk about some craziness. Now this may definitely make your computer lag, especially if you have infinite rounds on, but it looks pretty freaking unreal. So lots of fun to have with this particular mod. Now next we have the Ostrus Breach. The Breach is going to be firing cryo rounds. So this is pretty cool. So it's going to fire quite a spread. I've just got it in slow mode so you get an idea of what it looks like, but it looks pretty unreal. Just freezing everything in its path. We'll fire a few on the ground and see what happens when they land. So these are all going to be mines. So it's all proximity. If they get close to the mines, they will be set off. So a nice little cryo explosion for the breach. Really nice touch. Finally, we have the Ludicrous AA99, and this should be a bit of fun because this fires a Tesla mine and it is going to be potent. So it's just one at a time, but you can see it fires a yellow little pellets, and these are going to be proximity Tesla mines. So this is going to be pretty neat as well, especially in some slow mode. We'll just fire a ton down here and we'll see it go absolutely devastating all the ground units here. So pretty unreal, bit of a fun mod. Bit crazy. It would be cool to see some of those like nuclear explosions from something like this, kind of like you see in Fallout. But this is a nice touch. Really like it. Whoa, check this out. Doesn't that look mental? Very, very cool. Thank you very much for watching. If you get anything out of this, consider liking, subscribing, commenting. Let me know what you think about some of these mods. You can let me know what mods you'd like me to cover, or if there's anything on your mind, just drop it in the comments. Thanks again, and peace.